Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Joe, can you hear me over there? You hear me fine? I can't hear you. I haven't turned on your mic yet. So happy Monday, everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning into 98.3 FM The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalove. I come at you every single Monday night to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. If you hear that sniffling in the background, don't worry. I know it's close to Halloween. Those are not ghouls and ghosts. That's just my guest over there, Joe Janicki, with a little case of the sniffles.
Welcome to allergy season.
There you go. There you go. All right. I know what to put in your trick or treat basket. It's going to be like Sudafed or something, right? All right. So as you know, I'm on a quest every week, bring you the industry best. And today, of course, is my returning guest, one of my favorites, my good friend, Joe. Joe, say hello to the world.
Hello, world. Marty, thanks for having me back. I'm looking forward to wrapping up this 6-part series.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting.
Talking client experience. So this is going to be good. I'm excited.
This is going to be very, very fun.
Let's get into the bacon of it.
Yes. Oh, I like it. Just jumping right into it. Yeah. So this is part 6 of this 6-part series. We covered quite a bit, a lot of different things about the customer experience. Joe, over the weeks, sometimes we walked out of here, we talked or about the shows, and even myself, I thought about it going, a lot of redundancy in what we were saying sometimes, but all in all, there's so much good information, and even the stuff that we repeated. If you go back and you listen to some of the episodes, we repeated the important stuff.
Yeah.
And so the customer experience is just for those of you who haven't tuned in. This is part 6, so you're into a really good episode of this, where we're going to try to do a wrap up, kind of go back and talk a little bit about what we did, and then hopefully give some companies some action steps, some idea of what they should be doing, what they should really move on, and how they should be doing that. So real quick, what I want to run through is the first one, and can you believe it was like 6 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that, we started, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's how time flies so quickly. So first we did an introduction to the customer experience, talked a little bit about it. Then we went into, I'm looking here, is more in depth on what we can be doing. The idea of as soon as the person shows up, we talked about the very first part. What are the
first impressions?
Yeah, first impressions. Thank you. Second, or the third episode, we talked about the customer journey.
Yep.
We talked about as the customer's traveling through doing business with it, whether it's a brick and mortar, whether we're online, whatever, the entire experience. Then in episode 4, we really concentrated on the human-centric approach, where it was really redesign everything we do with the customer in mind, that just treating them like a human instead of a number. And then episode 5, we jumped into a little about training your team.
Yep.
Okay. So this is going to be kind of the full on wrap up. So Joe, before we even get started with this, tell me a little, what was, if let's say somebody, I'm looking at time here, it's 7:03. Let's say somebody just says, "Hey, I'm not going to listen to more than 5 minutes of this show." what would be a big takeaway, or one of the most important things about the customer experience that you'd love to share with people?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing really is to listen to your clients. You have to understand what your clients are trying to tell you or what their needs are, to really be able to tailor your service to them, right? And I think if you listen to all the shows, you're right. There was a lot of redundancy, a lot of repetition in what we said, but they were all around some simple concepts that I think are so often overlooked, but are truly the foundation of what people look for in an experience.
Right.
And we were talking on the way over, when we look at and we'll get deeper into this, but offering somebody a luxury experience. It's not about the product. It's not about the thing. It's about the experience. So you're right. There was a lot of redundancy. There was a lot of repetition,
but not bad redundancy. I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not telling people don't listen to the past episodes. Listen to them all.
And they're the common themes applied to different situations or different parts of the journey. But those common themes, they all come back to the same core principles, and they are so basic. I would suggest you stick around and get a recap of everything. But,
yeah, definitely.
But if you walk away with nothing, if you walk away with nothing else, take a minute and connect and be present and listen to your client.
I love it. Wow, those are strong words. Who would have expected you to have something so brilliant to say?
This late at night.
That's right. So what's really been cool is even though we talked about the journey the customer goes on this journey, we have to concentrate on that. What's been really cool is that I feel like I have gone on a journey putting more emphasis, more concentration on what the customer experience means and how we should all be doing this. It's really been cool because I would tell any customer or any business, do that. Take a little bit of time and really just concentrate on your customer, what they need from you. And the thing that I'd really like to drive home to people again is if they don't want to listen to the whole episode, listen to this, is that there is a bare minimum, no matter what whatever your business is, whether it's a restaurant, you're a plumber, you're a tennis coach, whatever the deal is, there is a bare minimum, everything that is expected. And if you just give that, you don't stand out.
Right.
All right. And so people love sharing stories that touch them emotionally. And so if you do the bare minimum, what they're going to walk away going, yeah, they did what I expected.
Yep.
If you do the bare minimum and make a mistake, that is the story people will share
Forever.
I can't believe they did this.
Yep.
So you have to, as a business owner, you have to train your employees and you have to take a look at everything that you do and say, the memory I want to share with my customers on a regular basis is something remarkable, something amazing. So I want to do at least the bare minimum, but I want to do something in addition.
Just a little bit more, just one extra step.
Exactly. So people go, oh, this was the coolest thing. I can't believe they did this.
Yep.
And it touches on anything. It's the way that you greet them, the way that you take them through the process, the way that you listen to them, the way that you follow up. There's just so many different ways.
Yep. And I think, we're a busy world, right?
Certainly.
Our lives are chaotic. These things are in the forefront of everything we do. We're on the phone all day long. We're checking email. There's dings, there's distractions all day long. Our mind is always somewhere else, that I think we are so busy that we forget to care.
Yeah.
And I think just slow down and do what you said, like pay attention to what you're doing. And I talk to my team about this every time, just what you said, just do a little bit more. Think about what we have to do for the client, right? This is what we have to do to deliver on whatever it is we need to do for them.
Right.
So do that, but then do a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
Reach a little bit further.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That little bit, you're going to stand out way ahead of the crowd. And if you really knock it out of the park, you've created a raving fan. They'll tell everybody on the other end of, it was just average of, this is such an amazing place to do business.
Right,
So-
right. You know what? It reminds me, and I like giving people something, an illustration, something in their mind. Was years ago, my wife and I, or I should say, my wife talked me into this yearly bike ride, and it was from McHenry to Lake Geneva, and the next day was round Lake Geneva, and the third day was back. It was brutal. Now, a lot of people did it, no big deal. I have never been a biker. I'm not built to bike. But there were plenty of times I would tell her she was amazing on the bike, and she would just take off and she'd slow down.
She was.
Well, she hasn't
No
ridden in
longer?
a while. I don't know. No, you know what? She'd ride circles around me at least.
Christy on verification
Yes.
after the show.
There you go. But I would say just go. You got a pace, you take off, and I'll catch up with you. And it would be that same thing. You'd make the turn, you'd see these hills, and all I had to say was, just there's 20 feet in front of me. Concentrate on that.
Yep.
Make it to that.
Yeah.
And then just go a little bit further.
Yep.
Just go a little bit further. And it was amazing because just saying, I'll go a little bit further, and me on a bike, I suddenly did amazing things. I rode further, faster, longer than I ever would have thought. And when you think about that analogy, it fits so well into everything you do.
Yes.
It is so easy to quit. It's so easy to do just enough.
Yep.
Okay. But it takes someone special and takes a little bit of concentration and dedication to say, I'm going to do just a little bit more.
Yep.
Okay. And that's what separates a good company from a great company, a truly successful company.
Ordinary from extraordinary.
That's
the
it,
difference.
baby.
And you can take that all the way down to the individual level.
Yes.
Like even when we look at ourselves and how we do things in our own performance and we're like, those are the things that separate you from just being average or being great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it is, and it's tough sometimes. You were saying we're really busy, right? We have so many different things going on, and you have to understand that our customers also have so many options.
They do.
They have so many competitors who are going out of their way, making it really easy to do business with, right?
Yep.
And if you do just the bare minimum, if you really say, I'm more in tuned, or I care more about the money coming in than helping those customers, if you concentrate in that area, just stay like that, those customers are going to leave you in droves.
Just as fast as they came in. We'll call that a
Yeah.
transactional mindset.
There you go.
Because
Yeah.
it's essentially what that is. You are living your life from one transaction to the next. It is about, closing that deal, making the sale, getting them in, getting them out, and moving on to the next person.
Yeah.
And once you're a customer and whatever, they're gone. There's no value in you. There's no value in them. And the next minute something better pops up. Guess what? Bye.
There you go. There you go.
100%. Your retention's out the door.
Completely.
So.
And so there's one other thing is that I remember when I started my business and I was trying to figure out how to do this and which direction to go in, focus on what I was going to do, how I can help people, etc. I met somebody who just really was the epitomized. Is that a word? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Hey Siri.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. So anyway, really went out of their way to show this help first mindset. And Joe, I'm going to say it was you.
Oh.
I couldn't believe that I met somebody who just truly every step of the way went overboard to help other people, not asking anything in return. And it was amazing because I remember thinking, this guy's a schmuck. He doesn't know what to do. But it was amazing because I saw not only have you grown a great company and you've surrounded yourself with a lot of great people. I mean, you have an incredible team. But what's more so is you become the go-to person, the person that people trust, the people they honor you, they respect you. You're the one that they want to go with and work with. You're the one. I'm like, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the Janicki Brightway brand, right? I want to see.
Thank you.
Because you did something, you really knocked out of the park like that. When so many other people would have done it halfway, you said, no, let's go straight out. Nothing but let's continue to help people and
Thank
do
you.
that mindset first.
That means a lot. Thank you. Sincerely.
Okay. Well,
So,
I
thank you.
meant it sincerely.
I appreciate that.
Right? You're more than welcome. You can send me a check later. Okay.
Make it out the cash.
Exactly. Right. So, I think that's a big thing because that's what made you and your business so memorable. It wasn't, hey, what can you do for me? You were like, what can I do for you? And it was always like that right from the beginning. So you did a good job. And thank you for continuing to do that.
Thank you.
All right.
It means a lot. Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned bacon, Joe.
I am hungry.
All right. You know that what we do is with the name of the show is Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And the reason it's called that is we give you little bits of bacon because everything that bacon touches becomes just a little bit better. But of course, we are not talking about the bacon for chewing.
We're talking about the bacon for doing.
Nice job.
And let me clarify something.
Yeah.
I don't want the bacon bits. I want the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. The slab, baby.
Let's go.
Give me the slab.
Let's
Give me
go.
the whole hog. Right? All right. So today in our wrap up, I'm going to kind of lay it out like this. And let's see if you like this, Joe. B is going to be baseline and benchmarks.
Okay.
All right. We have to really take a look at what we're doing, set some goals, see what we've been doing, and how can we improve some stuff. Okay. A is automate with empathy. All right. So it's really easy sometimes to create processes, but not think of our customers. Right. So we automate with empathy. C is going to be close the loop. All right. So what we're going to do is it's every single bit of it. It's not just, hey, they bought from me. See you later. All right. O is going to be orchestrate an omni-channel experience. In other words, what we're doing is the way we promote ourselves is the same everywhere we promote ourselves. We don't have different stories all over the place. And then N, your favorite word, is nurture. Nurture loyalty. All right. That's where we're going. So do you like it, Joe?
I love it.
You're
Let's
loving
do it.
All right. So let's get into this first part of when we get into this is baselines and benchmarks. How do you, if you were to jump into with a company and they're like, hey, I need to grow. I've been stagnant for a couple of years. And the first thing would be obviously grab onto some of your figures, right? Taking a look at the processes or the numbers you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And I work in a sales organization. So for us, and I grew up in a sales organization. I spent most of my career in the car business. And it's that what gets measured is what gets managed, right?
Yeah.
So when we look at setting baselines, we look at our KPIs and the things that we measure. Um, we used to, and I used to always look at the sales, right?
Okay.
How many did we sell? What numbers did we do? What was our profit? Blah, blah, blah. And, policies, premium, all that good stuff, right? But in reality, all of that happened in the past. So really,
Yes.
we need to measure the activities that led us to those sales.
Correct.
So we look backwards and we go, okay, if sales are our net result, what do I need to do to get to that sale? And maybe it's my contacts with a referral partner. Maybe it's reach outs to whatever the case, right? Measure all the way back to where the activity begins that leads us through that. So my KPIs are different from most.
Yep.
Because I don't look at just what my sales and premium numbers were. They don't matter. That already happened. Not saying they don't matter, but they are a net result of what we do on the front end. And you can apply that to any business by looking at what your end goal is for that business,
Right.
and what activities does your team need to be focusing on for you to be able to achieve those goals. And then we go back and we put a number to those activities.
Okay.
So, and I wouldn't make this extensive. You make this too confusing. You put too many things out there, and it's no different than like a very complicated compensation plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more complicated it is, if a guy can't go home and explain to his wife how he gets paid,
Or his child.
or his wife can't come home and tell the family how she gets paid, it's too complicated.
Yep.
They will never perform
Right.
the way you want it to. So when we look at this thing as well, I don't want 25 things that we're measuring. That's too much to focus on. When you throw that much out there, nothing will get done. Right. So let's simplify it. Let's take it down to 2 or 3 things.
Yep.
The 2 or 3 most important things, and let's measure those activities.
Correct. I'm loving it. And I agree with you. I was going to say 2 things, but 3 would be the max.
At the most.
Just compensate them on those 2 or 3 things. And I think the starting point, going back to what this whole show is about, is the customer experience. Is I think before you start, you get your entire team together and map out the entire customer experience.
Yes.
Step by step, and see what it looks like, because you're going to create the compensation program in order to improve those areas that need to be improved. Too often what we do is, like you said, in sales, you just go, let's build more sales. But unfortunately, sometimes we increase sales at the expense of the customer experience, right? So I think the first thing we got to do is we really have to work on mapping it out, understanding
the journey,
right, and the strengths and weaknesses in every spot of that.
Yeah.
And then I would say take it a step further. After we map it out, get some key customers in here, a variety of customers, and talk to them about the journey, get their input. Because if I'm the one running it, I think my journey for the customer is perfect, right? Because I'm seeing it with those rose-colored glasses. I'm seeing it the way I want it to be.
You're in the glass.
Yeah.
It's too hard to see those things from inside the glass.
Yeah,
you need somebody from outside.
So you get them out there, and then it's what you do is you start creating those programs to push in those right directions. And understand, when you create that program and you say, here's the compensation program that we're going to compensate you more, or give you a bonus or a commission based on this, or you have a potential of getting a raise or a promotion because you hit these numbers. Remember, those are the numbers they're going to go after.
Correct.
So when you pick those intelligently, because that means they are going to concentrate there and maybe lose some concentration somewhere else. Right. And that's what's really important. And again, I've run into some people going, "Oh, that's so difficult." Then don't run a business.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I think it comes down, you really have to understand your business. And we talked about, mapping the journey for the client.
Yes.
You have to understand your process. You have to understand the client's journey through your process. You have to know when you're doing things that are redundant. You have to, again, you just have to truly understand your business to know what those things are. You can't just pick them out of a hat and go, "Oh, this is important." No,
no.
They have to specifically tie back to the results you're looking to get.
Right.
And if they don't, throw it out.
So give me an idea of, because your team, you guys sell insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a couple of broad strokes. What does the entire customer journey look like with you?
So it starts with a referral.
Okay.
We don't do any advertising. All of our business comes through referral channels.
Yeah.
That referral either comes from that person who referred them in, or typically the client just gets referred in. They heard about us through so-and-so.
Yeah.
That begins with a phone call and or through the internet. So we take it through either a web lead form through our website, or on the phone, either way. From there, our team will assess how much time that client has, we set the expectation, Mr. Customer, we can take all the information over the phone right now. It'll probably take us about 13 minutes, or I can send you a
I
quick
love
link.
that you say
Yeah.
13 minutes.
Well,
It's not right.
we've timed it.
Yes, good,
Right?
good. I
We've
love it.
timed it.
I
And
love
on average, it's about 13. So,
Okay.
depending on what you own. Now, if you own 14 rental properties, that might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's 13 most
Okay.
of the time. So to get everything we need, or I can send you a quick link. You can do it in your own time, or whenever it's convenient for you. Which do you prefer?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we kind of gauge that, and then we go in whatever direction that is. From there, that information comes in. We run it into our systems, which rate amongst 100 different carriers. Reach back out to the client, go over the coverages, give them options. In that intake process, we're also kind of talking about what's important.
Yep.
Kind of feeling out what they have and all that good stuff. And then we finish everything up. So it's not, buying the policy,
Sure.
sending the documents. All in all, we want to provide them throughout this experience something they've never experienced before.
Right.
So we look at that process and look at how is our conversation on the phone? What are the things that we are talking about? Is it just, are we running straight to, we're going to beat your premium? I want to beat the rate that you've already got. Or is it more of, let's find out, what's important to you. Let me find out about, your assets, or what are we protecting, or your vehicles, or your kids, or your family, like all that stuff. We want to know about it all, right?
Right.
I want to provide them suggestions and not really suggestions, but I want to give them options based on that feedback as a professional, as opposed to just going straight to, this is your price.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Because we are professionals, and, so it's important to us in that journey. And the other thing is finding out where that client wants to be met. How do they want to be contacted?
Right.
What is their preferred method of contact? If I get somebody on the phone and they're like, I got to move, you can tell in the speed of their voice, how fast do they talk? Do they want to get off the phone right away? Well, let me find a way to get it as quickly and as convenient for them as I can. Or you have somebody that calls up and they want to talk for a little bit. They want to have that conversation. They need that personal connection. Guess what? Slow it down, enjoy the conversation, connect with them, talk to them about the house, tell them how beautiful the backyard is, tell them you love the basement finish and all that stuff, and really find that connection, because you've got the time. So let's do it. When we close everything out, I don't want, and I'm going to give away a trade secret here.
Yeah.
I don't want the customer to have to worry about moving insurance to us, because they have to do a bunch of stuff on the back end, like cancel all their other policies.
Right.
So I want my team canceling those policies for you.
Beautiful.
It's stupidly simple, but if I take that off your plate, it's one less objection I have to worry about.
Right.
And it's so less stressful for you, I think, as a client, because now you don't have to worry about that. So I always let them know up front, hey, listen, if we decide to go this way, our team will handle all the cancellations of your prior policies for you. We just need a quick signature on a DocuSign. We'll send it over. We'll follow up on it. We'll make sure it's done. You don't have to worry about any of that. Only thing we need to worry about on our end is how you're paying for the new policy. And if it's billed through the mortgage, we'll take care of that as well.
Nice.
So just try to make it as simple as possible for the client.
Completely pain-free. Right.
Get rid of the objections before they're objections. And really just elevate. I want them to have, ID cards before they hang up the phone with me. I want them to have their documents in their hand right away. I want them to know we're going to take care of everything on the back end. They don't have anything to worry about beyond deciding what coverage they want.
Nice.
You decide the coverage, we'll take care of the rest.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful. Last thing is follow-up. I was waiting for that, the follow-up. Then how do you guys follow up? Yeah. How often you follow up with these people? And obviously you're going to say it depends on what they're insuring.
It does. It depends on the situation. So if you're a client of ours, we are looking at your policy every single renewal.
Okay.
No matter what. We have a system built in for that. I've got somebody that is dedicated to that process. We look at every single renewal. We actually notify you in most cases, and I'm going to say that we try to notify everybody before you get the renewal.
Nice.
That means if we get it, we usually can see it before you do.
Okay.
Before you get it in your mailbox. And if that be the case, my team's going to let you know, hey, Marty, we saw your renewal. We're looking at it.
Yeah.
And if there's something that we see that might be a better option for you, maybe another carrier, better coverage, whatever.
Right.
We'll let you know. And if not, we'll let you know that as well. But at least hey, I'm getting a 30% increase.
Yep.
And I know that this company I'm working with is already on it. I don't have to do anything.
Gotcha.
Right?
Sure.
I want to put that level of trust and security into our clients so they don't get this thing in the mail and go, what is this?
Right,
I can't believe this. And nobody called me.
Yeah.
Why do I even have a broker? So, So we follow up that way with the current clients. With our existing, we do use a little bit of AI and automation.
Okay.
And we built that in to kind of streamline our process, but our team can jump in on that automation anytime. They see all the
Wonderful.
communications going out.
Yeah.
So, but we try to, not over connect, but
Yeah.
just enough to keep the connection.
I love it. I love it, Joe. I just wanted to hear the whole process. And I like this because this is not something that one day you just sat here and wrote it out. You worked on this with your team,
We
with
did.
the company you work with your individuals. You had to brainstorm a lot. And I think part of it is understanding, like I said, you start breaking down that the journey
Yeah.
yourself. You start talking to customers who are going to use that. And then focus in on those couple of things where you're like, this is the hiccup, this is the problem. And I love the fact that you talked about this, that one of the problems is going to be they're going to be like, I have to cancel all these, I have to make all these phone calls. And you're like, no, we're going to take care of all of that for you.
That
I,
happened from one customer. We
I'm,
had one customer, he had 9 policies,
oh,
and we offered better coverage,
yeah,
better price. Everything about the deal it totally made sense. And we were brand new at the time.
okay,
And I'd never seen this before. And it came down to it. We talked to the client, we went over everything. He goes, that's great. He goes, but you know what? It is too much work for me to move.
yeah,
And those words just
click,
immediately, I'm like, oh, I get it.
certainly,
So
yeah,
how do we make that easier going
right,
forward? And I thought about it. I'm like, we can do this. We could just take this off the plate. So, and we did. You talk about
yeah,
writing it all out. We did. I took every single step and I put
yep,
it on a whiteboard,
uh-huh,
and then I stared at that
nice.
whiteboard,
God,
and
I love a
I,
love a
I
whiteboard.
do. And I looked at redundancies and I go,
Yeah,
okay, why do we do that twice? Why is this here, not over here? And
yeah,
I just refined and refined and
right,
refined.
right,
And we looked to make it as streamlined as possible. And if you looked at the process that I just rambled on about,
yeah, yeah,
it's about 6 steps.
sure,
And
sure,
we've got it actually in a visual form
nice,
that we can print out. A friend of mine that's
beautiful.
really good with graphics actually did it for me back in the day.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, his name is Marty
Yeah,
Jalove.
smart guy. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was that. It was very much write it down.
Yeah.
And then as we went through it, like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Get rid of
Right,
that. Or
right.
how can we make this quicker or easier? The entire focus of everything we do is built around how can I elevate the experience for the client?
There
It
you
is
go.
not about us. It is about what do I do to make it easier on them?
I love it. I love it. So, Joe, one of my clients is a larger place. It's a manufacturing company with a lot of different departments. And I love this because aside from going through the customer journey, just the people who buy from them, what we're doing is we're breaking it down and repeating the process within. Like there's different departments that technically their customer might be another department in the company.
Sure.
And I think it's really important that, depending on how large the company is, but even a smaller company, what an individual can run through this and say, "Oh, my client, my customer is my peer here, another department, and how am I making their job easier?" Because if you can get every employee, every department thinking like that, making everything as seamless and smooth as possible, you're just like prone to be more successful. And so we do this whole same thing of finding the hiccups, the most difficult parts, and they run through, like it might be an accounting department or the purchasing department, let's say, and they look through this and they break down every step where they go, oh, yeah, it's really easy to deal with us. Then you call another department and you say, tell us the steps you go through
Yeah.
dealing with them. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't realize that's difficult. Yeah, that's difficult,
Yeah.
right? You start then highlighting those areas and you start then saying, we're going to focus on that. We're going to make those changes. And so the cool thing that I'm working with this company is, we started with those core values. We've talked about that in the past in a mission statement. But now what we're doing is narrowing it down to each department, saying, what is your main thing? What is your gig? What is the thing that you are responsible for? How do you determine what is successful for the purchasing department? What does success look like for accounting? What does success look like for the customer care department? Each one of them, uh, they have to come up with their own definition of success for their department and how it falls in play with the greater plan for success.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because you can keep narrowing it down smaller and smaller down to the individual employee and say, consider yourself, granted we've got customers who buy from us, but you also, one of your customers might be your supervisor, or your supervisor. One of my customers is my employees, right? And so it's really important to take it a step further, but understand the system. And the more you can understand the system, if you can use it internally, you can definitely use it uh, externally,
Yeah.
right? And work better with your vendors as well as your customers.
Well, you have to. It also eliminates the chaos.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
by having that documented and taking the time to really understand your process and taking the time to really understand the journey or whatever it is,
yeah.
even internally, it allows you to bring people into your organization,
Yes,
plug them in, scale the business, and have them understand how to do things the same way with consistency every single time.
it's so well oiled.
Otherwise, you get
Right.
all these people that they bring them in, they do their own thing, and you come into your business and you're like, what happened?
Yeah,
Why is everybody doing things differently? Why is there so much chaos? Why is it not working? Why is the business falling apart? You don't understand. You didn't document your process. You
right,
don't
right.
understand your process, and you didn't teach your process.
There you
So,
go. There you go.
so it's extremely important. Again, even internal business functions need to be able to understand what they do, how they do it,
Completely.
and
Right.
why they do it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So one of the other things is before we jump to the next letter, I can't believe it. We're really beat this one down. But that's cool. It's important. Is I liked the fact that you had said this customer had 9 different policies and says it's just too difficult.
Yeah.
So you think about this: the current insurance agent or broker he was dealing with. He was willing to pay more money because it was difficult to leave. It was difficult to know how to end it. And wouldn't you rather, and this is for any company, wouldn't you rather they say, I'm going to stay with you. I'm willing to pay more because of the service I get.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what you really
Yeah.
want. You don't want them to go, it is so difficult to quit. Oh my God, then I'm stuck with them forever. I would
Yeah.
rather go, I'd pay twice as much because they are so good. They are on top of things.
He should have been the first call when the rate went up, not me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So let's jump into this. So we talked about the baseline and the benchmarks in here. So A is once we have those kinds of things and we've identified the problem areas, the places that need to be fixed, it's A is automate with empathy. Okay. And today's day and age, we
Yes.
did a whole show on AI.
Yep.
And people are jumping into AI, letting AI do a lot of things, which is great, but you have to continue to remember that AI is a tool.
Yep.
And the best way I've said it is I teach people treat AI as an intern without a vision. Okay.
That's good.
You
I
like
like
that,
that,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. He's just sitting there. AI is sitting in the corner waiting for you to say, hey, go do
A
this.
very knowledgeable,
An extremely knowledgeable intern.
yeah.
Right, right. But no vision.
Yeah.
He's not going to do anything or she's not going to do anything until you say, I need you to do this. Get me this information. Get me this report. Bam, here it is. Right. And so, but when we are ready to automate, and there are so many cool ways to automate, there's so many different programs, so many different companies that you can partner with who will help you automate and give you shortcuts. But we've got to automate with empathy.
Yes.
Our end goal is to say, just like the conversation we're having on the way here, is automate or delegate some of that stuff so that you can concentrate on other stuff. But everything that we do has got to be, what is the experience that my customer is going to go through?
Yep.
If it's going to worsen their experience, then don't do it.
Correct.
Right?
And we talked about in a prior episode about balancing the line between convenience
Yes.
and high touch client touch, right? High
Yeah.
client touch, right? So we are in a convenience economy right now.
Yep.
And people want convenience, but they also strive for that personal touch. So you really have to balance that line. And we look at automation and 100% right. There has to be, I love the way you put that, automate with empathy.
Yeah.
Because we're straddling that line. You can't go too far to one direction because none of us we're not Amazon.
No,
It's hard for us to operate in that space. People
Right.
still want to talk to somebody, especially in our business.
Yeah.
We are very much a relationship business. I can't put everything onto AI or automation, but we can use it as a tool.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, we're gonna come right back. I noticed this. We jumped through this. We got to run a couple
4
of
minutes
messages
late.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna run a couple of messages here. So everyone, just stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're talking about this is part 6 of the 6-part series on the customer experience. Got my good friend Joe Janicki here. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so very much for staying tuned in. You're listening to 98.3 FM The Life. I'm Marty Jalove, the host of Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And I got my good friend, my sidekick for at least once a month now, is Joe Janicki. And we're talking about the customer experience. This is part 6 of a 6-part series. This has been just a great series. It's helped us concentrate even more on the benefits of making the journey for the customer within your business as special and as wonderful and as remarkable as possible. It helps everybody in every way. So we talked a lot about the baseline and benchmark. That's the B in our bacon today. A is the automate with empathy. And so we're talking about, it's cool to add processes and procedures and systems and put them in place, but don't do that as the result, if the result is going to hurt your customer or the connection you have with your customer. It's interesting, Joe, you had mentioned we're not Amazon, and the way you made it sound was kind of like they don't have to empathize.
No,
They're good. I was
yeah.
going to say, I mean, they empathize really well.
No, just the opposite.
Yes.
And I think they have figured out that balance point
and they're incredible
for automation and the human touch, right?
Yes.
If I don't know if you've ever had an issue with Amazon where you actually needed to talk to somebody about how simple it is actually to get somebody on the phone with Amazon.
Oh, I guess I've never needed to or never pursued that.
Stupidly simple. Simple. Yeah. You go to a thing and actually they don't have a phone number. They call you. You put in your number.
Okay.
They immediately call you, and their goal is to resolve the issue.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, immediately.
Nice.
They are probably one of the easiest companies to do business with. I mean, besides their obscene return policy.
Yes.
The fact that you can purchase things immediately, and you go, oh, I forgot to buy something. Well, okay, go buy something else and put it through, and free delivery, whatever else.
Right.
But when you do actually need a human being, you can get them on the phone immediately. There's no waiting, there's no nothing. So they have figured that out, and they've done it, just incredibly well. So hats off to Amazon for that.
Yes, exactly.
They do it right.
That's right. So what are some of the things that, obviously, there's so much that I think about, even with this show, Joe, when I first started this show and put it on from the live episode over to my podcast, Bacon Bits with Matt for Happiness, anywhere you listen to podcasts. The first time, it was a laborious thing of all the work that I did. But then even this, over the past 4 years, the evolution of AI has helped me in so many different ways. And I found so many of these great shortcuts that not just am I able to do some of the things I did before quicker, but I can do it more efficiently, and I can do more.
Yep.
I can do so much more with so much less time.
Yep.
Okay. I would never want this podcast to suddenly turn in going, yeah, Joe and we're not even showing up. We have simulated voices doing the entire show. We still need the human touch. This is what this is all about. But it's so neat to be able to say those redundant tasks, those ones that are really simple in the background, that there are ways to automate them, as long as it doesn't hurt my brand. It doesn't hurt the experience my customers go through. Yeah. And I think everybody should start with one. Take a look at what you're doing, some repetitive task that you're doing over and over and over again. And you want to look at those before they get tiresome and boring.
Yeah.
Before you start making mistakes, because it's just, you're assuming it's the same thing. See if there's a way to start automating that kind of stuff. Yeah. Now, you automate a lot of stuff, right, Joe?
We do. We have automation built into our follow-up process, whether it be a text message or an email, whatever. And it's, where we have to be careful is there are so many things that you can dump into AI, whether it be a social media post or an email or whatever, and you immediately read it and go, this is AI, right? Yeah. So you have to really learn how to prompt, and you have to make it personal enough to where the stuff you're sending out, it doesn't feel like AI.
Right.
It feels like this text message I got is from my agent, right? And that's the way it needs to feel. It needs to be real. It can't be over worded and all the other stuff. It was like, I had somebody show me like this thing that they had done. I'm like, get rid of the emojis.
Yes.
Like there were like 100 emojis in the thing. Like, that immediately screams, I put that in ChatGPT, and that's what you got back. So stop that. Stop the nonsense. Make it real. Make it personalized. I take a lot of stuff out. If I ask it for help in designing or rewording something, right? Hey, I just can't. I'm overthinking this. I'm taking so much time to think about how I want this email to be worded. I'll drop it in, reword this for me. I'll look at it, go, yeah, like that, move that, switch that, boom, send it.
Exactly.
So I still personalize, but I don't spend as much time overthinking things that I would normally sit and stare at it and try and reword it and wordsmith it, whatever else you want to call it, to where it was perfected, right?
Yeah.
That time savings is just incredible, because we take so much time away from again, for me, I just overthink things.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I want it to be perfect.
And I think I'm with you on that. Is I'll open up a Word document and I'll just start brainstorming and free thinking and just typing all the things I want to say. Like this is an email or this is a blog post I want to write. Make sure I'm going to cover this. Oh, that's right. And then also mention this and do this and etc. And lay this whole thing out, and then take that, copy all of that, and I drop it into an AI program, and I'll say just can you formalize this? Can you fix this and make it so that somebody can understand my scribblings, right?
Yeah.
And it creates that whole thing, but it doesn't have the creativity. It doesn't have the swab that I want to add into what I'm writing. So then I'm going to sit there, read through it, and say, "Oh, this is really cool. I'm going to use this analogy, and I'm going to add this in here and kind of twist it and use those words and kind of play with it." But it is such a great writing assistant.
Yes.
You know, if you keep viewing it as AI is that intern with no vision, right?
Yeah.
You keep saying that, you realize, hey, I put some stuff together, I got some ideas. It's kind of like you look at the intern and sit in the corner. You taking notes with this? You got all this? Can you just give me a summary of what I just said? Take a look at it and then fix it. And you just view it like that. Do not make that AI, that intern with no vision, the president of your company.
Sure.
Okay,
Right.
that's what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's the fear that people have, is that they feel like, oh, so many people are giving it all up to AI.
Yeah.
And no, it's not right.
No, it's an enhancement.
Yeah, a
And
paintbrush and a canvas
yeah,
on its own.
you and I
can't
did
do
a
anything.
whole series on this.
Yes.
It is not there to replace everyone's job. It is there to enhance
Correct.
the jobs that we already do. Will jobs change? Will things shift?
Oh my God, yes, right?
Absolutely they will. But for the better. It allows us to get more involved in things that really matter in our business. It allows us to get more involved in those personal relationships, maintaining relationships, and really, spending more of that one-on-one time, while the menial tasks get taken up by AI and automation and things like that.
Yeah.
So it is not there as a human replacement. It never will be.
No,
But it is there as a human enhancement, and that'll continue.
I agree with you. Yeah, completely. So the letter C, because we're gonna get through these BACON, believe it or not. All right. I know you're rooting for us.
Yeah.
All right. C is this close the loop across teams. Close the loop. In other words, it's this idea is it's one thing for us to go, oh, I got all this going on and I'm working on this and I'm working on this. But sometimes we forget, once we start setting up processes and we say, hey, I'm thinking of the customer and we're moving forward, but we forget to loop the rest of the team in
Sure.
on it. And we still need to treat the team as individuals as well.
Yeah.
They have to feel like they're as special as any one of our customers.
Yep.
And we've got to continue to pull them in. So there's that fine line between the right amount of meetings and too many meetings.
There is.
Okay. And do you have any shortcuts for us on things that you would say when I'm setting up meetings? What are some of the things that you add into a meeting to make sure they work? They're proper.
All right. So two parts of this question I want to answer for you. And the first one is when we look at, you talk about closing the loop, and we look at other departments and how we do things. I talk to my team about the reason our processes are set up the way they are is because, God forbid, you got hit by a truck today. Can I come in and figure out what you were doing today?
Right.
And if it's not that way, then something's broken in our process.
Yeah.
Right. We shouldn't save files on our desktop. We shouldn't not document what we sent to a customer. So when I hand something off to you, right, if I'm done with my portion of this account and it's now going to go to your desk, you need to pick it up and know everything and anything that you would ever need to know to pick up that client, like you would handle it from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, and it needs to be documented. It needs to be in depth and specific, and there should be nothing left out. And we do that. In our instance, we have a checklist, and that checklist is built into our system. So when I move that customer, let's say from prospect to sold, right, that checklist has all the things that need to be done, and that goes on to the next person with all the documentation behind it. So then again, I get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anybody can walk in and go, hey, Mrs. Smith called and she wants to know about this quote we sent her. And we don't have to go to Mrs. Smith. Well, who do we quote it through? Because now we look like idiots, right?
Yeah.
Like we're the agency. We don't know who we sent that, who we quoted it through, and we should never have to ask those questions. So everything should transition from person to person all the way down the line from beginning to end with seamless
Yep.
interaction, right?
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to meetings, we don't hold unnecessary meetings. I do a one-to-one with the team every single week. We meet about 15 minutes. I schedule 30, but we meet 15 minutes and we go through a select number of things that we talk about every single week. I want to know what's working in the company. I want to
Yep.
know what's not working in the company. I want to know what they think they're doing really well. I want to know what they think they need to personally improve on. I
Nice.
want to know what they think they need help on,
Good.
what they think they need to work on and what they can get help on. And we talk about some to-dos and some follow-through for the following week. And we do that to open them up, and we get a lot of good ideas out of those. When you ask somebody that's in the day-to-day, I'm not in the day-to-day anymore. So when you ask somebody about, what's going on in the day-to-day, about what they think is working in the business and what they think is not working in the business, and you ask them to do it with a constructive mindset,
Right.
they aren't just, excuse my language, I'm not going to say the B word, they're not just complaining, right?
Right. Right.
They're
Right.
coming to you with constructive ideas that they think could improve the ultimate goal, which is the experience for our client. That's all that matters. How do we improve that?
Yes.
So when we look at the business like that, we start to build that into our framework and into our culture. You start to get some really good ideas, and there's some things you can act on. You go, we didn't realize that we've been transitioning from one system to another. We've been through
Yes.
3 CRMs in the last 2 years. And
Wow.
in the
Wow.
process, I found out that people are intaking clients in 3 different ways. So
Okay.
because they're all doing something different, one of my team members said, "Hey, it's very complicated and congested. This person does it this way, I do it this way."
Certainly.
And we talked about, okay, where can we find a happy medium and what works best for the client? How do we build that process to be the most efficient with the systems we have right now? And we did it together, and I did it with the team. It
Okay.
wasn't a leadership thing.
Right. Right.
The team gets involved. And guess
Yeah.
what? Now I've got the backing of the entire team. So we have those one-to-one
Love it.
meetings
Right.
every single week. And then we have a weekly meeting, which we have every Monday morning with the entire
The
team.
entire team.
And
Gotcha.
it follows the same structure every single week. We talk about the same things. We talk about our KPIs. We talk about what's important to the business. We talk about any client headlines that we need to worry about, any issues. And we have a living, breathing form that people can go on. We use Microsoft Whiteboard, and
Okay.
they can list things that they think are important that need to be added to the agenda. So then when we get to that part where we have something we need to talk about as a company, maybe we need to address, it's already on there, and I'm not bombarding your office every 3 minutes to go,
Right.
hey, Marty, can you fix this for me?
Yeah,
Hey, I
yeah.
got this issue with this. Hey, what do you think about this? Right?
Gotcha.
Everybody's trying to do a job. So put it on there. It'll sit there in almost a parking lot until Monday. Right?
Gotcha.
If it's urgent, we need to address it differently. But this way we avoid all the unnecessary, interruptions, and we get to move through things. And we have our weekly, and then we have our one-to-one. So
I like it. I like it. That's why I wanted you to talk on this, because I visit clients and I help them. I watch how they do meetings, and I wanted to hear how you do this, because I think I've seen enough of your meetings and been part of some of your meetings enough to see I really like the way you lay it out. Here's something I want you to think about, since we've been talking so much about customer experience, especially in your whole team meetings when the whole things are together, is create a CX champion. Okay. And once a week, you just choose somebody and you say, Joyce, I'm just going to make up a name. Okay. Joyce, you for the next week are the CX champion. So I want you to take a little extra time and think about something that we can fix or improve, just an idea for the customer experience. And you just give them that's a small task that they think about in the back of their mind. At the end of the week, your team is going to say, we should be serving more tacos. Okay.
that's my team for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But when you think about it on a one-to-one, you're going to get some stuff that, hey, would be great for the customers if we did this, this, and this. But occasionally, if you assign it to somebody and say you have 1 week, just come back. It's not your regular gig,
Yeah.
but for this 1 week, I just want you to concentrate on that.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be every week that you're doing it with every person, but every once in a while, I think it's really important to remind them how important it is that this is what we're doing. We're working for the customer.
Yep.
Right. And so let's put a little extra time into that.
I like that.
All right. So let's just jump to O, which is orchestrate an omni-channel moments. In other words, everywhere, once we have our path, our goal, we have our journey set up, we have our brand that we set up, we have got to continue to put it the exact same way everywhere. And I think what you just said about you have 3 different systems, everyone's doing it differently,
Yeah.
is the perfect example of not necessarily the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So what you got to do is look at it from every regard. Like if somebody comes in through a referral partner and comes to you, if somebody finds you online, if somebody, however, they walk by your store and they walk in, is the process they're going through always going to be the same way? When they see you on LinkedIn, when they see you on Facebook, are they getting the same feel from you? When they visit your website, are they getting the same feel? When they walk into your store, is it the same feel or is it odd?
No, it has to be.
Yes.
And it starts with process.
Yes.
It once they're documented, then the next step is training.
Uh-huh.
And then it's just what's the word? They're just I don't know, just
Autonomous?
they're just they're just in it, right? It's just
Yeah.
it's just immersive. That's
Okay,
the word.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
you're immersive and you're seeing it from the rest of your teammates. But
Yes.
it all starts with the beginning with having your processes documented,
Yep.
organized,
Yep.
understanding how that client flow is supposed to go and what you're supposed to do every step of the way. From there, we just immerse you in the process and training. And
There you go.
and if everybody's doing it, it starts at the top, right?
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you can't ask everybody to answer the phone a certain way and then have your leader answer it a completely different way.
Correct.
So
Correct.
then now you've opened the door for them to not follow the process.
Yes. Yes.
Why are they doing it different, right?
And I think and I think you got to also add in the way that you're promoting yourself.
Yeah.
All the different ways you promote yourself. If you're promoting yourself as a help first entity,
Yeah.
someplace else, you have to stick with that. That's who we are.
It becomes
right?
your brand.
Yes, exactly. And you
So,
got to
yeah.
stick with that.
Yeah.
Christy and I just a while ago went to a restaurant in Long Grove. I'm not going to give you the name. Food was great. Everything was great. I'll gladly go back again. But what we did was we spent some time looking around, and when we left, I asked her what was the logo of this place we were at, and she kind of was like, "Oh, it was mostly just a font." And she was like, "Huh, let me think about it." And I was like, I looked around the restaurant and they had at least 4 different versions of a logo.
Really?
Like they couldn't commit. And I
Wow.
went online and it was a struggle to find their logo.
Interesting.
Okay, so it's really interesting because it seems like they had been growing and changing and they were in the middle of maybe changing their logo or something, but they had made no concrete effort to do something.
Huh.
And so one of the tough things is when you think about it, like if I told someone you got to go to this restaurant, and if they would see the logo, there's plenty of restaurants with recognizable logos.
Yeah.
You tell people, "Oh, I saw it. Yeah, that's the one Marty was telling me about." This one, if I described it and told you, you'd drive by it 100 times and never find it, right? So I think this is what's so important about having a brand, having a message you want to share, and you have to share the exact same message everywhere.
Yeah.
You've got to bring everyone together.
Yep.
So we're getting down to the end here.
Let's
So
nurture.
yeah. So nurture, it's about nurturing loyalty and advocacy. All right. That's what we're talking about. And I think this is what we've been this is the essence of the customer experience. It's doing all those types of things to make the customer want to do business with you, making your business irresistible, making your business something worth talking about in a positive way, making them want to share the experience with other people because it's a great experience. They don't want to share the experience because they want to give you 1 star and they want to make sure everyone sees it.
Yeah.
No, they want to share it with you because it's a delight and they want to invite friends. That's the direction you want to go in. So, Joe, as we're ending here, what is a couple of things that you would say are some of the best ways that you can help people, other businesses, nurture that loyalty and advocacy?
It's a great question. So
It's a wonderful question. That's why I asked.
it will take us all the way back to the beginning of the show.
Yep.
We have to understand our clients. We have to build a relationship with our clients.
Yep.
This has to be more than transactional. If I am in whatever business, I don't care what business it is, and my only interest is to close that transaction, and it is just about closing the sale, and I haven't found a way to connect with you,
Yes.
then there is no reason for you to stay with me down the line.
Yeah.
So when we talk about nurturing, clients or nurturing relationships or however you want to phrase it, my team knows, we always talk about if you win them on price, you're going to lose them on price. They have to see value in doing business with you, and they have to find a reason that you're different from everybody else on the block. And I don't care if you're selling shoes, if you're selling tacos, if you're selling insurance.
Right.
There has to be something that stands out and makes you a little bit different. And it has to be, going back to our last section, it has to be consistent, has to be every single time.
Yes.
You can't go, out of your way to do things amazing one time and then fall back to mediocrity for the rest of your life and expect that client to stay.
Exactly.
You need to be
Yeah.
consistent. So wherever you do, close the loop, keep it consistent, do it every single time, but you have to do a little bit more than just be transactional.
I love it. I love it, Joe. All right, so I'm looking at this. I threw some notes together, and while we've been talking, taking some additional notes, is that I want people to think about this. The next 30, 60, 90 days is within the first 30 days is look at those baselines and those benchmarks, right? Take a look at one thing that you can say, this is a redundant task. I'm going to try to automate it. Just one thing. Don't go crazy. Don't change the entire business. Within the next 60 days, go back and look at how that is working for you, right? Work with this whole idea of nurturing your employees and nurturing your customers based on that and checking it. And then within the next 90 days, I want you to take it a step further. Push that even more so. If that's working and there's certain things that you're doing that are working really well, see if you can take that, mimic that into other areas of the business and keep moving it. But you've got to, and we're going to go way back to the beginning of the show. You've got to do it one step at a time. You got to do just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Don't give up on it. It's the only way that you're going to build the business and make it survive.
Yep.
So, Joe, we got all kinds of ideas about our next segment. We'll talk more, but I suggested to you that we talk maybe about building a big team. What do you got? Any other suggestions, or do you absolutely love that idea?
I think that's a great idea.
All right.
Yeah. And what I love about it is that I did a lot of things wrong and I learned from some really great mentors on how to do it right.
Yes.
So I would love to walk into that brick wall.
Yes. All right. I love it. So yeah, let's, so figure that's the fourth Monday of every month. All right. Regardless of what Joe said.
And every holiday that falls on a Monday.
That's what it seems like, right? So yeah, this is going to be cool. We're going to start. If you need more information, obviously go to masterhappiness.com/live, or it would be baconbitsradio.com. Either way to find out more information about more shows that are coming up. And if you missed any part of this episode, or if any of the previous episodes, definitely go to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness, the podcast. Look that up, and you can find links again on masterhappiness.com/live. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much. This has been an incredible series.
Thank you, Marty.
All right. Take care, everyone. See you next week.